Good day, everyone. Today, we'll explore the law of sines, a powerful tool that unlocks the mysteries of non-right triangles. Unlike right-angle trigonometry, which relies on the Pythagorean theorem and basic ratios, the law of sines extends our reach to all triangles, elegantly connecting sides, angles, and circles. In right triangles, we use sine, cosine, and tangent to relate sides and angles. But what happens when the triangle isn't right-angled? That's where the law of sines comes in. It allows us to solve oblique triangles, which are those without a 90-degree angle, by building a bridge between geometry and trigonometry. Up to now, most of our trigonometry has focused on right triangles, using the familiar SOHCAHTOA ratios. But here's the limitation. SOHCAHTOA only works when a triangle has a 90-degree angle. The real world isn't always so neat. Think about surveying land, navigating across oceans, or designing engineering structures. The triangles we encounter often have no right angle at all. These are called oblique triangles. So the core question becomes, how do we find unknown sides and angles when we can't rely on a right angle? This is exactly where the law of sines steps in. It's the key that unlocks oblique triangles, giving us a way to solve problems that SOHCAHTOA alone cannot handle. Here is the central idea. The law of sines. It states that in any triangle, the ratio between side A and sine of angle A is equal to the ratio between side B and sine of B, and the ratio between side C and sine of C, where A, B, C are the sides. A, B, C are the opposite angles. This formula is powerful because it tells us that the ratio of a side to the sine of its opposite angle is constant across the triangle, and that constant is tied directly to the geometry of the circle that passes through all three vertices. Why is this important? First, we use this to solve any triangle. If we know one angle-side pair, we can unlock every unknown side and angle. Second, in geometry, it's the cornerstone for oblique triangles, where no right angle required. And third, real-world uses. Surveying, navigation, and engineering all rely on this elegant law. So, the law of sines isn't just a formula. It's a universal key that connects trigonometry with geometry and real-world problem-solving. Now let's see why the law of sines works. One way to prove it is through the altitude method. Step 1. Drop the altitude. From vertex B, we draw an altitude h to the opposite side. This creates two right triangles inside our original triangle. Step 2. Apply sine definitions. In the left-right triangle, we can write sine of angle A is equal to h divided by c. Solving for h, we get c times sine of A. In the right triangle, we can write sine of angle C is the ratio between h and A, equating to h. We have side A times sine of angle C. Step 3. Equate and rearrange. Since both expressions equal h, we set them equal. C times sine of angle A is equal to A times sine of angle C. Rearranging gives the ratio between A and sine of A is equal to C and sine of angle C. Repeating this process with an altitude from another vertex extends the result to all three side angle pairs, completing the proof. This shows that the law of sines isn't just a formula we memorize, it's grounded in geometry itself. Another elegant way to prove the law of sines is through the circumcircle method. Step 1. Construct the circumcircle. Every triangle can be inscribed in a circle called the circumcircle with radius r. Step 2. Apply the inscribed angle theorem. This theorem tells us that an inscribed angle is exactly half the central angle subtending the same arc. Step 3. Relate side to radius. Take side C, opposite angle C. By applying the sine definition in the circle, we find Side C is divided by sine of C is equal to 2r. Step 4. Generalize to all sides. The same reasoning applies to sides A and B. Thus, we arrive at the grand result. Can be read in words as the ratio of side A to the sine of angle A is equal to the ratio of side B to the sine of angle B, and equal to the ratio of side C to the sine of angle C. This proof highlights the deep connection between trigonometry and circle geometry. The law of sines isn't just about triangles, it's about the harmony between angles, sides, and the circle that embraces them. Let's see how the law of sines applies in the real world. Imagine a surveyor who wants to measure the distance across a river from point A on one bank to point B on the other. Direct measurement isn't possible, so they establish a baseline on their side from point A to point C. Other data show that the baseline AC is 100 meters. Angle A is 80 degrees and angle C is 60 degrees. We need to find the distance AB or C and BC or A. Step 1. Find the third angle. Since the angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees, hence angle B is 40 degrees. Step 2. Apply the law of sines. To find side AB opposite angle C, side AB is divided by sine of 60 degrees is equal to 100 is divided by the sine of 40 degrees. Step 3. Solving side AB. We get 100 times the sine of 60 degrees is divided by the sine of 40 degrees, which is approximately 134.6 meters. Step 4. Solve for BC. We multiply 100 by the sine of 80 degrees and divide by sine of 40 degrees, which is approximately 153.2 meters. Hence, the surveyor successfully calculates the distance across the river without ever crossing it. This is the power of the law of sines, turning geometry into a practical tool for navigation, surveying, and engineering. Thank you for joining me in exploring the law of sines. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel so you'll never miss more insights in mathematics and beyond.